Hi, and welcome back to Inspired Alchemy with Lizzie. This is episode 56, and I'm going to keep with the Halloween theme because it's spooky season. So, today is going to be about how readiness is a choice, not a feeling. And I'm going to try to relate it to the spooky things for Halloween. So, let's see how this goes. So, readiness can feel like you're being haunted. It's this feeling of I have to do the things, and it just keeps welling up inside of you. And you don't know what to do with it because you're waiting for that feeling to feel ready. And I'm not talking about the intuitive hits that we get that we're like, yeah, it's time to do this or it's time to do that. Even when we have those intuitive hits, we can still pretend and go into our self-sabotaging behaviors that it's not the right time. Our intuition tells us yes, but we still don't move. And it's part of the loops that we have to self sabotage, to keep ourselves small, to keep ourselves safe, all of those different things. So, ghosts linger because of unfinished business. We went through in the last episode how ghosts relate to alchemy, and they're never ready to move on. It's just, like I said, us keeping ourselves in this state of being haunted by what we want to be doing, but we don't feel that we're ready for it. Some people it's I'm not ready to be a parent. Some people it's I'm not ready to have a cat. Some people it's I'm not ready to buy a house. And while I agree with knowing the impact of what you're going to do, because those are all big things, I will say that I didn't think I was ready to be a mom. I was so messed up, and the last thing I wanted to do was mess up my daughter. But when you're thrown into those kind of situations, it's like, okay, well, I have no choice but to be ready. And I took 9 months doing the best that I could to prepare. And while this is not like, oh, I'm not ready to open my business, which I'll go into as well, it is similar. It's, oh, I'll wait for the right time. I'll wait until I have enough money. I'll wait until I do this. But sometimes life just, it doesn't happen that way. And while my daughter was planned, tried to conceive for 2 years, it was at a point in time where I felt my most fragile and my most brittle and my most sick. But I was like, I can do this. And so I prepared myself. And even back then I didn't know what I was doing. But when you're becoming a mom or a parent, you start to decide where, and this is not exactly where I thought it was going to take me, but that's fine. We're going to do this. You start to decide whether or not you want to continue cycles or not. And while you're haunted by your past and your past choices and even your demons or your monsters, you decide which one of those things your child is going to get. And I refused to allow my daughter to live her life through my fear, through my hauntings, and all of that. So I chose. I chose to change. And every single day I wake up and I choose to change, to be better, even if I don't know what I'm doing. I choose that next right step no matter how scared I am, no matter how, is unready a word? If it isn't, I will make it a word today, no matter how unready I feel, because I know that is the right way. When I opened my businesses, the intuitive hit was yes, do it. But then my mind tried to take over and go, no, no, no. No, it's not the right time. You don't have your website set up. You don't have anything set up. But I knew it was the right time. And each time that I evolve and grow and make changes, I do hinder myself at points. That self-sabotage does kick in, but I've learned to recognize, is it fear stopping me, or is it not really the right time? Readiness isn't about waiting for the right feeling. It's about choosing to cross the threshold. And you have to decide if you want to wait to stop being haunted, or do you choose to release yourself? I was talking about fear. Fear could be really anything, but there is a fear monster that hides. And it's the thing that tries to keep us safe. Even our irrational fears, in some way, our mind has told us that those things are not safe. And sometimes they're irrational, sometimes they're from past trauma, whatever it is. But a lot of our fear represent our fear of starting, of stepping into the unknown, uncertainty, because we want certainty, but we don't always get that. The only way we get it is by taking action. Messy action, inspired action. And if you wait until you feel fearless, you're going to stay in the dark forever with the monsters. So, readiness is opening that door that the monsters are behind, whether it's a closet door, however you picture it, and deciding that they have no control over you anymore. And this takes time. This is not going to happen overnight. This is going to take a lot of alchemizing. It's going to take a lot of deciding you want to reframe your mindset. And again, it's not easy. And sometimes it represents itself physically. Sometimes it just doesn't feel great. And I'm not going to sugarcoat that. But on the other side of that, each time you choose is a freedom. Freedom is one of the keys here for inspired alchemy. I want to bring in another monster, which is the werewolf and its transformation. Werewolves, while lore can differ through different cultures and different places, werewolves, they don't wait until they feel ready to change. The transformation just happens within their cycle. And in alchemy, readiness is choosing to work with the cycles and the energies and not waiting for the perfect mood, the perfect time, and just allowing things to flow as they are meant to flow naturally. So often we create these huge things to try to stop ourselves, these situations, whatever it is. And we're like, oh, we have to have the perfect timing, the perfect mood, the perfect this, the perfect that, when in actuality, nothing perfect really happens. And the perfection that we're looking for happens when we allow flow to happen. And if we continue to make excuses and we try to force, then we have resistance. Just like the werewolf, transformation is messy. And like I said, sometimes our psyche and our emotions can affect us physically. And yeah, sometimes it hurts. Everything is connected. And so, and I'm not saying this to scare anybody or anything like that, but I'm not going to sugarcoat the work that everybody tries to sugarcoat. Transformation is messy, but you're ready the moment you choose to step into it. So there's some lore about werewolves where when they stop resisting the change is when the pain stops. And that's what happens in alchemy. When you stop resisting the change to life, to yourself, to all of these things, when you stop deciding that just because life has always been the way that it is, which means that it can't change. When you realize that change is inevitable, it's the only constant in life, then it stops hurting as much. Resistance is what causes the pain. And sometimes, yes, when we are completely opening up and we're completely being vulnerable, yes, that can hurt as well. But at the same time, when we're constantly fighting our own souls because we don't feel ready, that's where the pain happens. And I think that, honestly, yeah, the phoenix is a big thing in alchemy, but I think that the werewolf could also teach us a lot. I think we can actually learn a lot from all of these different lores and things related to Halloween. The more that I do research, the more that I think about it, because Halloween is a big thing in my life. It always has been, always will be, always been attracted to all of that stuff. Everybody knows that if you've been here for a little while. My life revolves around the dark and spooky, which is funny because I do have a side of me that is light and airy and hippie. So there's that duality that I live in. But I try to merge the two, and that is another episode. But this is going to lead me into the choice of trick or treat. Whether or not you've trick or treated in your life, or whether or not you have kids that trick or treat, you don't wait to feel ready to go trick or treating. It's just like you throw on your costume, you're like, all right. And sometimes you're just really excited and you want to go beforehand. Some people wait till it's darker. But in all actuality, you don't wait to feel ready to go trick or treating. You just go. And just like I said with some things before, sometimes you feel like you're getting tricks, but sometimes it feels like a treat. Readiness is the choice to knock on the door anyway, whether you're scared to get tricked or treated. I don't even know if people do tricks anymore, but I hope you get what I'm throwing down here. You choose to knock on that door anyways. Are you going to get candy? Or are you going to get somebody to scare you? Or is it going to be both? I'm pretty sure. I mean, in movies and stuff like that, I don't even know if I've ever had this experience, but in movies and things that we watch, there's always that one house that people are scared of, right? It's like, oh, the witch lives there. And we've been taught to fear the witch. But also in a lot of these movies, the kids that end up going to the door and knocking on the door and facing their fears. I think there was one movie, and I can't remember what it was, or it was an episode of a show where the kids were so scared to go up to this door. And because it was the scary house, the witch lived there, whatever it was. So they ended up going to the house and they met an old lady. And the old lady answers the door and they're like, whoa, she's not so scary. And the old lady was like, I never get trick-or-treaters here. So I'm really happy that you stopped by. And she had full bars of candy. Like the full on chocolate bars. And so at the end of this, they were just happy that they decided to go up to this house and get the candy bars and like head home. Like, and they were like, oh, that wasn't so bad. And that's kind of where I was going with the trick or treat thing. And I believe that I went over this in the last episode, but we have the spider and we have its web. When we are waiting to do something, it can feel like we're stuck in this web. We can call it the web of delay. And we're caught in these threads, these silky threads of hesitation and doubt. And sometimes the more we try to fight it, the more tangled we get. It kind of reminds me of Harry Potter as well, where I forget what the roots were called. Hold on. So I thought I knew the name of it, but I wanted to make sure because I didn't want to misquote it. So yeah, it's the devil's snare in Harry Potter, where you're stuck in these roots, but the only way to get them to let go is either to shine light on them or to stop struggling. Once you stop struggling, the snare will release you. Could be the same with this web of delay. And choosing readiness is cutting yourself free and weaving your own path forward, whatever that looks like for you. And I also want to talk about the alchemy of choice versus bypassing. Spiritual bypassing is a huge thing, and people will say that they did all of this work, or they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I got past all of this," but they did it by bypassing. We don't do that here. I'm not up for bypassing. Readiness isn't pretending to feel okay. It's deciding to act even when you're messy, even when you're scared, even when you're uncertain. That is where this work is huge. And that is where this work is powerful. Because when you decide, even if you're messy, even if you're uncertain, and you allow people to see you and all of that you are and your authenticity, and saying, yeah, no, I'm not okay, but I will be because I'm doing the work to be okay. It's not, I'm going to light this candle and everything's going to be fine, or I'm going to take this rock. And while these are all very, very good tools, we have to be careful that we're not giving away our power to these tools, that we're not giving away our power to, I don't even know how to relate it to Halloween at the moment, that we're just not giving away our power. I guess we give our power away on Halloween when we're terrified and we don't do something because of it. So messy, scared, uncertain. It's knowing that these things are not going to be easy and still choosing to do them anyways. Same thing, people are scared to open a business. If you want to be an entrepreneur, it's not for the faint of heart. I still don't know what I'm doing. That's fine. I'm still trying to do it through all the mess. Do I get scared sometimes and think, why am I doing all of this? Why I have no idea what I'm doing? And do I get imposter syndrome and all of that? Absolutely. But I'm still moving forward, even in my messiness, even in my uncertainty, even in the fear I feel. And it's a choice. And I think I said it previously that when I opened my business, I was terrified. My intuition told me yes, but everything else was like, no, you're not ready. You're not this, you're not that. And just one day I just go, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to do it anyway. And here I am. So readiness is choosing to face your ghost, your monster, your werewolf, your whatever it is, whatever archetype is coming in. Maybe you have more than one, is choosing to face that and go, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. If there's somebody you need to reach out help for, if there's a therapist, if there's this, if there's that, if you've been putting off doing something, even for yourself, for your health, part of that is fear and you feeling not ready, or, oh, it's not right. But it's also self-sabotage, keeping yourself small. So I want to ask you, what door are you standing before? And what choice of readiness are you avoiding? So, speaking of keys, I want to do another visualization, and it's the key to readiness, and it involves inspired alchemy, perpetual alchemy, the Black Cathedral. So, I want to invite you to take a couple deep breaths with me and center into your body. Obviously, make sure that you are in a safe space where you can do this. Please don't do it while you're driving or operating any kind of heavy machinery, or if you are responsible if you're having to be responsible for something and you can't do this, you can come back to it. So I want to invite you to take a couple deep breaths with me. We're going to breathe in and out. You can put your hand on your heart and one on your belly and breathe in and out. And if at any point in this visualization you don't feel safe to do it, I want to let you know that that's okay. And you can turn it off at any time and come back to it. We're going to take one more breath together. And out. And this is going to be the key to readiness. Imagine yourself standing before the Black Cathedral. Its towering spires stretch into the night sky. The stained glass glows faintly with red and violet and green. The air is thick with mystery, but also possibility. The moon is full, and on the steps of the cathedral, there are jack-o'-lanterns beckoning you to come inside. The possibility, you can feel it. You feel the weight of your own hesitation, the voice that whispers, "I'll be ready later, but not now." Now notice your hand. In it, you're holding a key. And it's ancient, it's heavy, and it's warm. And it holds all of the knowledge and all of the power that you have within you. It's as if it was forged specifically for you. This is your key of readiness. It can look however you feel it looks. It's not given, but chosen. You're choosing this key. You're creating it. It's coming from your soul. Before you is a great arched door. It's locked, not because you're not worthy, but because you haven't chosen to open it yet. I want you to take another deep breath. Feel that fear, the hesitation, the self-sabotage, all of it swirling around you like ghosts in the night. And now choose. Place that key into the lock and turn it. As the door opens, a soft light spills out, illuminating your path. The phoenix fire glows at the altar inside, waiting to burn away what no longer serves you. Step through the doorway. You are ready, not because fear is gone, and not because you feel certain, but because you choose. Breathe into this readiness, hold it in your body, and know that every time you doubt, you can return here. Place your key into the door, and remember, readiness is always your choice. I want you, now that you have this key, to carry it with you if you so choose. And to know that it's always in your hands. Choice is always yours. And with that, I want to thank you for being here with me. Thank you for stepping into the Black Cathedral. Thank you for your support. Thank you for spending your time with me. I don't take that lightly. Time is a precious resource that we cannot get back. Thank you for indulging me in my spookiness and in the dark and in the light. It's fun to play. I want to invite you to play. As the seasons change, as the weather changes, get out there and hug a tree and allow yourself to flow with the seasons. And please remember, in a society that tries to tell you that you are broken, that you are disconnected, that we are divided, and we are not worthy, please know that you are worthy. We are not divided. We are not alone. You are not broken. There is nothing wrong with you. You are unbecoming everything that you were never meant to be, and you're laying it all down to become everything that you were meant to be. If you are here, you are an alchemist. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Shine your weird light into the world. This is how we change things, and this is how we send out ripples for future generations, is by doing the work. And with that, keep going. Even when things feel heavy, try to play. Don't bypass. And that's what I have for you today. This is Inspired Perpetual Alchemy, and until next time, keep creating alchemy.